and growth. Mr. Nelson, thank you so much for joining us in the final word. Will the amendments to the Foreign Investments Act and the Retail Trade Liberalisation Law help the country attract more foreign direct investments, particularly from the UK?
Yes, I strongly believe it will. First of all, I think that, I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can.
That the benefits will be coming through. I think we've already seen that. We've already held a webinar on the Retail Trade Act, and that was actually very well received. And I think also these three measures are creating a lot of interest. And I think it's very important at this moment when obviously the economy is being challenged, as I see, and obviously we've been discussing about the oil price rises, that these are the kind of measures that will attract more foreign direct investment. So Rico, yes, we see a lot of interest. We're looking forward to seeing the Public Service Act signed in. And with these three measures, plus hopefully the entry into the retail, the RCEP, which is the Retail Trade Agreement for the Philippines to be ratified, I think all that combined will be a strong support to the Philippine economy.
As you say, UK firms are already expressing interest to invest in the Philippines. From which sectors, Mr. Nelson?
Okay, so Rico, I think the sectors that we focus on are both food, beverages, advanced machinery, business outsourcing. So we see a lot of those already starting to pick up in interest. We have an event coming up on the 21st of April to highlight already a successful member we have, which is Jacob White Packaging. So we see all that happening, and we also see linking up with companies and partnerships that people are seeing, obviously, the benefits of the Philippines. And looking after 2 years of the pandemic, obviously, we know the forecasting growth are about 7 to 9%. And British companies can see the potential. And one thing I just want to emphasize, Rico, in particular, is the fact that we obviously promote that the Philippines not only is a market that's very viable for companies, but also an entry into Southeast Asia.
But Mr. Nelson, you're very upbeat with these amendments to the entry of new foreign investments in the country. But aren't UK investors also wary about the upcoming May 9th elections? Do they see this as a red flag for them to come into the country sooner rather than later?
Look, I mean, the companies are aware that Philippine elections take place. I mean, that's scheduled. And obviously what they're looking for is the longer term. I think what obviously they would look to see and hope to see is that the measures that have been enacted in this current administration, which is obviously further economic liberalization, investments in build. We'd like to see further investments in the digital economy. I think they'd be hoping to see that continuing. But our investors and the way we discuss with them is for the longer term and the potential of the Philippine market. And the fact, of course, it's 110 million people, it's growing, it's dynamic. And of course, the workforce. I mean, the Philippines has very many talented people, and that's a great attraction. And again, let me stress, it's a great gateway into Southeast Asia.
What about the Regional Comprehensive and Economic Partnership, RCEP? It's still pending ratification in the Senate. How could this also further improve the country's economic opportunities?
Well, look, RCEP is a great opportunity. It represents over 30%, I think, of the global GDP. It's going to be a very large trading unit. I think, if I'm right in saying, already Malaysia, Vietnam, and Thailand have signed up. And I think it's also interesting for the UK because as the UK, as you know, has exited in terms of the European Union, is looking and is being very active in trade arrangements, is looking also at the comprehensive area. And therefore, I think this will give the Philippines a great area in terms of trading. Now, there have been some concerns expressed, particularly through the agricultural sector, but in all fairness, the Department of Trade and Investment and the lead negotiator under Secretary Alan Gepta has answered those points. And I think the opportunities far outweigh the risk. And I think the Philippines has got enough talent, enough strong companies, and it can benefit also from the lower costs and the opportunity. So we strongly recommend and sincerely hope that when the Senate resumes again on the 23rd of May, that treaty will be ratified.
Chris Nelson from the British Chamber of Commerce, Philippines. Thank you so much for joining us.